of struggle against authoritarian rule and martial law. The United States is Taiwan's biggest international backer and arms supplier, despite not formally having diplomatic ties with the island or recognizing its sovereignty. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken congratulated Rai Ching-te on his victory and said the United States, quote, is committed to maintaining cross-strait peace and stability and the peaceful resolution of differences free from coercion and pressure, end quote. He also said the U.S. looks forward to working with Rai and leaders of all parties in Taiwan to advance their long-standing unofficial relationship consistent with the U.S. One-China policy. The Biden administration has feared that the election transition in new administration would escalate conflicts with Beijing. Biden has worked to smooth relations with Beijing, including agreeing to talk through differences on security matters at a California summit with President Xi Jinping in November.
A large protest was held in the Georgian capital Tbilisi on Saturday to demand harsh punishment for a woman accused of defacing a recently installed religious icon depicting Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin. The suspect is alleged to have splashed paint on the icon, which was on display in the city's main Holy Trinity Cathedral in an act of protest that exposed deep divisions in Georgia over the former Soviet dictator's legacy in his homeland. Of info, the pro-Russian ultra-conservative movement that organized the protest used a post on the Telegram messaging app to compare the desecration of the icon to repression of religion that occurred under Stalin's regime. Thousands of Orthodox believers and alt-info supporters gathered on Saturday in front of the country's parliament before marching through the city to the cathedral to pray before the Stalin icon. The crowd was monitored by the police and addressed by a speaker critical of the attack on the icon. A Georgian nationalist party called the Alliance of Patriots, which has also expressed pro-Russian views, said it had gifted the icon to the cathedral. A side panel of the icon includes a depiction of the Georgian-born Stalin, a avowed atheist who violently repressed religion across the Soviet Union, being blessed by Saint Matrona of Moscow, a Russian Orthodox saint, during the Second World War. Georgia's Orthodox Church authorities were cited by the Interpress News Agency on Thursday as saying appropriate changes should be made to the icon, adding that there was insufficient evidence that Stalin ever actually met Saint Matrona. The police have opened investigation to what's been described as petty hooliganism and have questioned a suspect following the incident.
New Zealand's former Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern married her longtime partner Clark Gayford in a private ceremony on Saturday, finally tying the knot after canceling ceremonies during strict COVID-19 controls that she imposed on the country. The 43-year-old Ardern and 47-year-old Gayford got engaged in May 2019 and were meant to be married in early 2022, but the ceremony was canceled due to her go hard, go early approach to the pandemic, which allowed New Zealand to keep deaths from the virus low. She became a global icon for left-wing politics and women in leadership as Prime Minister from 2017 to January last year. Ardern, one of just 2 women to have a baby as national leaders, took her daughter to a United Nations meeting. An Ardern spokesperson said by email that the wedding took place in Hawke's Bay at Craggy Range Winery in the east coast of New Zealand's North Island, about 310 kilometers north of the capital, Wellington. Official photos showed a smiling Ardern wearing a white halter-left dress, while Gayford wore a black suit. They reportedly tied the knot in front of some 50 to 75 guests. Among the guests were Ardern's successor as Prime Minister, Chris Hipkins, now the current opposition leader. Hawke's Bay is home to a number of internationally known wineries and is an important horticultural area. Ardern, for the past 6 months, has been undertaking 3 fellowships at Harvard University. She is a trustee of Prince William's Earthshot Prize and a special envoy for the Christchurch Call, a network seeking to eliminate terrorist and violent extremist content online. It was set up after a massacre targeting Muslims, for which Ardern's sympathetic response won applause.
That's it for the global segment. Next, Inner Business Updates. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and Citigroup report that they reduced their workforce by a combined 17,700 last year.
You're listening to Radio Thailand News.
Already providing award-winning service direct from Bangkok to Europe weekly, EVA Air is now presenting passengers with even greater comfort and convenience by serving Bangkok to Vienna, Austria, with a 787 Dreamliner. Fly the spacious and modern 787 Dreamliner direct from Bangkok to Vienna 4 times a week on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. The elevated experience is another from Star Alliance member EVA, flying 28 times a week from Bangkok to Taipei, 14 times a week to European destinations, including London and Amsterdam, and up to 84 times a week to North America. For information, visit worldwideweb.evaair.com. Sharing the world flying together. EVA Air, a Star Alliance member.
Advertise with Radio Thailand. Call 092-654-9899.
Business News.
In business news, the Ministry of Interior has disclosed that more than 126,000 people have registered under the government's program to tackle the chronic debt issue on the 42nd day of the campaign. The Department of Provincial Administration has disclosed that as of December 1st, 2023, the total debt recorded was about 8 billion baht. Of the total registrations, 108,700 were made online and 17,300 on site, involving 90,500 informal lenders. The area with the highest number of registrants have been in Bangkok, with 10,500 registrants accounting for a debt of 729.7 million baht. In contrast,